Easy peasy.
I love Africa Global Radio.
Time now for headlines across Africa. Stay with us.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
So today we're going to Equatorial Guinea, the Republic of Congo, and South Africa.
Okay.
So we're starting with Guinea, where we're reading from the Guinea Info. The Equatorial Guinea, we're reading from the Guinea Info Market.
Okay.
And the headline says, Equatorial Guinea and Gabon resolve their territorial dispute in the Hague Court.
Right. Tell us more.
Well, the territorial disputes between Equatorial Guinea and Gabon is once again the focus. Now, these two Central African countries have been contesting the sovereignty of 3 islands since the 1970s. Following the failure of UN mediation, Malabo and Libreville agreed to resort to the International Court of Justice to resolve the dispute.
Right.
A statement from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Gabon on Tuesday, 13th April, confirms that the CIJ has initiated the proceedings. The territorial dispute has been unfolding in The Hague since March through a video conference. The two countries have been invited to appoint their representatives and present their defenses. The case dates back to 1972, when Equatorial Guinea claimed sovereignty over Mbane, the largest island with an area of 20 hectares, and 2 other islets, Cocoteros and Conga. And in 1974, a treaty was signed. Now, he reduced the tension, but 15 years later, Equatorial Guinea revived the disputes. To avoid a war between the two neighbors, the UN intervened and acted as a mediator. Under the auspices of the UN, the two sides concluded a treaty in 2008 authorizing the Hague-based International Court of Justice, the CIJ, to resolve the disputes. Well, it turns out the process could actually take a long time. This is due to an official source. But the subsoil of the disputed land is said to be rich in oil and the waters are rich in fishing.
Right.
I think that's the main reason why they're fighting over it.
But what's the ultimate goal? Peace. Or what?
Everybody wants to be able to own the land. I mean, once it's rich in oil and it's rich, I think if it wasn't something that contained anything,
Yeah, nobody would care.
I don't think
Nobody
they
would
would be
care.
bothered that much.
Interest, man. Okay.
Well, moving on to the Republic of Congo, where we're reading from the Actualite newspaper.
Right.
And the headline says, EPST embezzlement. Psycho welcomes Willy Bakonga's arrest and calls for trials to be opened to track down all involved. The Teachers Union of Congo, SAICO, welcomes the arrest of Minister of State, Minister of Primary, Secondary and Technical Education, Willy Bakonga, in Brazzaville as he sought to escape justice to travel to France. Cecile Chiyombo, General Secretary of SAICO, believes that with this arrest, the trial on embezzlement in the EPST sector should be reopened. We say that as soon as the minister crosses the river, he has to go directly to Makala. We don't go after Willy Bakonga, but we're going after the system that has to disappear. Once he has been apprehended, he is summoned by the Court of Cassation instead of going to answer. We find him at the foot of a plane going to France, not here at home, but in Brazzaville. But what does it mean? This is to say that it seeks to continue to harm and that the mafia system would run on. It has to stop, he has to be tried and convicted, and he has to be forced to pay back the embezzled money. She told the Actualite newspaper. This was on Wednesday, yesterday, April 2021. Now, it indicates that there are others who are still involved in the hijackings, but then they must be prosecuted by the courts. And they hope that all those involved, as the trial has been opened, will be tracked down and brought to book. Well, that's a story coming from the Actualite. It's good when they catch the bad people anyway.
Yeah. And now you want to run away to overseas, huh? Take cover. Yeah, true. You have been caught. Right, go face the law.
Well, we're going to South Africa, where we're reading from the Times Live newspaper, and the headline says, Tembisa Hospital's suspended CEO heads to court over Shonisani Lethole report.
Right. Okay.
Well, suspended Thambisa Hospital CEO Dr. Lukupane Mogaladi has hauled Health Minister Dr. Zweli Mikezi to court in a bid to force him to appoint an independent tribunal to oversee his appeal against a damning report by the Health Ombudsman. Health Ombudsman Professor Malegapuru Magogba found in January that the care rendered to patients Shonisani Lethole at Tembisa Hospital in June last year was not only substandard but also negligent, and recommended that disciplinary action be taken against Mogaladi. Well, the Sowetan Live reports that in an affidavit, which forms part of his court papers that were filed before the High Court in Johannesburg last week, Mogaladi said that he had not heard anything from Mikezi, despite having lodged an appeal against the report in February. Now, Mogaladi said he was launching the application in terms of the Promotion of Administrative Justice Act to compel Mikezi to appoint a tribunal to oversee his appeal against Makogba's findings, which he did not agree with. Well, the Times Live previously reported Makogba found that Lethole was not offered food during his stay at the hospital for 100 hours and 54 minutes. He tested for COVID-19 on admission on June 23rd and died without receiving his test results. Records by nursing staff indicate he died on June 29th, but he was not declared dead by a doctor until June 30th. It took 69 hours and 19 minutes before two registered medical practitioners could assess Lethole's condition for the first time since admission. The Ombudsman recommended that disciplinary action be taken against 19 hospital staff, including some doctors and nurses, for their role in Lethole's death. Well, that's a story coming from the Times Live newspaper.
A sad one.
Yeah, not really a pleasant one, but if they actually did that, then I think something should be done about it, because it tells the number of people who could die due to negligence. Sometimes it's not due to pronouncing the wrong disease, or sometimes it's just because of negligence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like the fact that people are being prosecuted for their wrongdoings. Yesterday I talked about how the Malawian president is actually sacking some government officials who have embezzled COVID-19 funds. Can you imagine? Well, are we still doing this? You do that, you get caught, and the law will deal with you. Thank you, Epi. That was Headlines Across Africa. For more, log on to africaglobalradio.com on demand or via Viamo. If you're on Vodafone, 321 is that short code.